And here we are again on the On Par podcast. I'm your host, Drew D. Alberta. We've got Sean Kicker from the First Tee here.
What's
As
up, Drew? How you
always,
doing?
good
Hey,
to have
everybody.
you. Good to have you back consistently. I know you were kind of buried with
Oh,
the
100-hole
3 months
challenge.
of the 100 hole challenge. So we talked about on a previous episode. This episode is going to be all about the recap of the 100 hole challenge first. And we talked about on a previous episode some things we were going to do
Yeah,
differently. We had an off year last year. It was your first year with me doing it. It was my third year. And we raised around $78,000, I think it was last year. Seventy
it was
six thousand
it was
dollars.
under 70.
Okay, so we had an off year from the year before, which was our best year ever.
101.
101, and I think it was a little more with some other money that never showed up on the website or whatever. But this year we set the goal at 120K, which was by some people's measure a very ambitious goal.
By my measure.
But you were still pretty confident the whole way because you had the idea where we were going to get some country clubs involved. Stan recruited a few more people. We had more high schoolers, which has been an awesome way since Ryan Shimone's always been one of our better fundraisers.
Yeah,
You know, we
and
always
and
kind of
Shalias, the Shalia brothers.
yeah, we were always kind of missing, like, how come we can't get some more 15, 16, 17, 18-year olds, some high school kids involved? And you did a good job of recruiting some of them this year.
We just tipped this. That's the tip of the iceberg, really, when you think about it. Is all of those kids were at Pinecrest Prep,
Yep.
and Pinecrest Prep is one of the top schools, private schools in Broward County, but it's one of only about 6. We could do 6 times that next year through recruiting, and every one of those kids had such a blast. I had to pull them off the golf course. Like, we had a contract with Coral Ridge Country Club, right? And it was going to be an 8 o'clock shotgun, and it's only a 9-hole par 3 course, and we were going to play 4.5 hours. Most of the groups played alternate shot in 4.5 hours. They played 100 holes, okay? And then we had a nice luncheon inside the clubhouse, a little buffet with some ribs and some good stuff. Brisket was good, yeah. And so that was a great little change from what we normally do, getting the air conditioning. And then we had a 1:30 shotgun where all the the afternoon people. We had the folks from Parkland, where we had Miles and Marty, who were representing Parkland Country Club, and then the rest of them, I think, were the high school kids. And so we were supposed to finish at 6 p.m. sharp. Well, 6 p.m. rolls around, and they're so into it because they're trying to break they're trying to make the most birdies because there was a contest for most birdies made, and then there was the closest to the pin on every single hole. And so the competition was fierce. I had to pull them off the golf course. They didn't want to come in. They would have stayed there into the night playing. So it was exciting.
And yeah, I mean, I was there with Curfton, our producer, and our co-captain here on the podcast, and we had a blast. But wow, was it hot this year?
You played the morning, and the morning was hotter because it was stagnant, and it was just cooking, and you couldn't go outside without your clothes sticking to you within a minute. Within a minute, you were sweating, and your clothes were stuck to you. In the afternoon, there was a breeze going. The ocean breeze started kicking in, so it was more tolerable the afternoon than it was the morning.
I tell you, it was the hottest I have ever been playing golf.
Bro, I don't know. Lagomar was pretty hot last year too, and so was Hollybrook. That day was scorching.
Hollybrook
was hot, man.
That was
right?
Also last year.
We forget, like,
you're right, but I don't know. There was some different feel being out east and having not a single cloud in the sky the entire time. I don't know how cloudy it was in the afternoon. There was no clouds at all. So it just felt like the sun was cooking you the entire time.
The whole time.
But who cares? We had a blast.
It was.
And where are we in fundraising right now? Give us the number.
Tiffany, please. This is always my favorite from growing up watching the Jerry Lewis telethon. And he'd roll the numbers. And
so drum roll. Here we go. Brrr. The goal was 120,000. Go ahead.
Which, weeks before, even days before, we knew we were on to the right track because we hit 30,000. Okay, we hit 40,000. We hit 50,000. We hit 60,000, and then all of a sudden,
and that was before a single golf ball was laid up.
And then it just went crazy, and we were approaching 100,000, and then it just I thought, okay, all right, so 101 was the Broward record. And the record for all time was set by Palm Beaches last year. That was 116,000. As of today, and this number's not correct because there's a $1,000 check from Gunther Motors. Jay Gunther and Joe and the whole crew at Gunther Motors is a huge supporter of ours. Thank you so much. An extra $1,000 was donated to Parker Obst's campaign. $125,000, 603.
Yeah, and congratulations to us and Stan and all the other people that were involved in the planning and the recruiting of everything. I mean, we just couldn't be prouder than we ever have this year. So kudos to you, Sean, and thanks for all you've done. And
thank you.
We were on constant calls and texts and weaving Stan in and meetings, and a lot of work goes on. And
we
tried to make it as fun as possible.
But
a lot of work comes, to lead up to the actual event.
Absolutely.
And just a phenomenal event. If you're interested in playing in next year's 100-hole challenge, reach out to us on our On Par Podcast Instagram at On Par Media. Find us on Facebook or LinkedIn. Let us know. You can come in to the Winners Award Group showroom here in Coconut Creek, where we host the podcast now, our sponsors. And, we're going to just even better next year. But before we even get to next year and your plans, because I know you've got them, there was a couple of things that were really cool this year that we didn't do last year.
Very different.
And one of those things was everybody that raised over $2,000 is going to get, and we haven't got the codes yet, but we're all going to get.
Guess who has them?
Carl.
No.
You.
I have them now. I have them. So everyone's going to get their
codes. You're bogarting the codes.
No, I'm going to give it out. I'm going to give them out today.
So how many people, and I know you've got it there in front of you, how many people qualified for this before I even tell them what it is?
Yeah, that really is the biggest difference is when you looked at the 100-hole challenge leaderboard, who raised the most money in the past, $2,000 and above got you top 10.
Right.
You were on the front page of the leaderboards, so to speak, right?
This year, not so
this
much,
year,
because I think I was over.
You're the bottom of the first page.
Number 10.
Number 10.
I'm number 10 because there's.
And I'm number 9. Okay.
Yeah, you passed me. Damn it.
I got $2,000 more than you, but the number 10 spot was $3,550 this year. $3,550 last year. 2001.
For the number
for the top 10, yeah, and so more than $2,000.
We had 8 more people raise over $3,500.
17 people raised over $2,000 or more, and then we had 4 raise us over $10,000.
And every single one of those people that raised over $2,000, which is 17 of us, is going to get a $500 gift certificate to a very swanky golf store called Holderness and Bourne.
Holderness and Bourne's got some nice stuff. You might
be able to get like 3 pairs of shorts.
That's about all you're going to get from $500. That's expensive
but they're going to be. I gotta believe they're going to be a really nice pair of shorts.
They're going to be a really nice pair of shorts. Absolutely.
So looking forward to spending that, as well as Kirkton is. As I think you cracked $2,000 as well, right? We're out there on the course.
Yep.
And are you eligible for that, or do you get stiffed on the $500?
I'm going to donate my $500 back to the first. I may give it to one of the kids.
One of the kids.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I don't. Last thing I need is more golf attire, right?
Right?
But to a kid, and yesterday we had PGA Junior League out at Cooper Colony, and one of our high school kids was wearing a really nice shirt, and it was one of the ones from when we were at Royal Palm last year for our fall golf tournament, and the winners donated those certificates to give them to the kids.
That's
right?
Really, really
and
cool.
so, you had a kid that's got a $500 shopping spree at the pro shop at Royal Palm Yacht and Country Club. And so,
there's worse things to get as a gift than that. For sure. So what else do we do different? I mean, I know we did it special at Coral Ridge.
Yeah.
We also did a iteration there at the Lauderdale Links.
I think what we found
golf simulator. So let's talk and I know we have a whole episode about that, but let's talk a little bit about why the 100-hole challenge in the golf simulator.
Well, a couple of different things is
one, it's hard to get golf courses to donate the course.
It's becoming more challenging, and what we're seeing is not only was the influx of additional players playing year round in Florida pre-pandemic, every golf course was empty. And we're starting to see a little bit of shift to that this year, especially with that massive heat wave. I'm interested to see what the numbers are, but the play had to have been down this summer versus the last 3 years.
It was hot this summer.
And then the other thing is we're running into golf courses. They're doing renovations. I mean, Parkland, Weston Hills renovated both their golf courses in the last couple of years. Lago Mar, we weren't able to do Lago Mar this year because there was so much demand that they're no longer closed on Mondays. It used to be closed on Mondays. Now they're open every other Monday. So, so that was a challenge. But we came up with 3 different unique ideas, and one was to do a special VIP event, which was a huge hit. The vast majority of our players this year chose to play as 2-player teams. You and Curfton played, right?
Yep.
On a 9-hole par 3 course where every single hole has a closest to the pin contest, and the prizes were a dozen Pro V1s. That's a $55 prize. That's kind of cool. It's something to get excited about.
6 feet on.
I saw that. That didn't last.
4. And then next time I came around, now we had Shelby playing. Like, that's not.
She won two holes.
And only 2.
And there were some good players out there.
I'll tell you, it's funny because.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Corriston at Lauderdale Links was talking about how the women actually have a smoother, better, more fluid swing. And if you, look no further than Shelby.
Shelby's pretty smooth, yeah.
Her swing looks effortless. And, I don't think she missed the green. She was driving right up behind us on pretty much.
They were lapping
hole.
everybody.
And
we had 7 groups that morning, 14 players. I
don't think she missed the green is all I was going to say.
No.
Every single shot.
Her name was listed on every single hole-in-one, not hole-in-one, closest to the pin placard. Oh, that's right. We also had a $500 cash prize for anyone that got a hole-in-one.
Nobody got the hole-in-one.
Not here. At the Palm Beach event, someone got a hole-in-one. At the Palm Beach par 3, but at Coral Ridge, which is
but Palm Beach didn't even come close to us this year, so we don't even need to talk about their 100.
We don't need to talk about them. No, they're insignificant this year. But 10 inches was the closest that anyone came to making a hole-in-one.
That's pretty close.
And let me tell you something.
And they missed the putt.
That is a challenging. That is a challenging par 3 course. You got a 240-yard par 4. And then you got on the short end, I think you got a 80-yard par 3.
Well, let's back up to the hole-in-one conversation because I got into a debate with Lou and Nick Chiera here at Winners Award Group over lunch one day, and it was a couple days before Curfton and I went out and played at Coral Ridge on the par 3, and I was reading an article to try and defend my position because at Hollybrook, I came within about 18 inches on the 96th hole that I played.
Yeah, didn't we both almost had a hole-in-one on that hole, right?
On the same hole, exactly. And I came within about 18 inches, and I said, you know what? If I got a hole-in-one on the 96th hole, that would be more of a hole-in-one than an 18. And they said that Lou said that it wouldn't count because it wasn't part of a regular round. And I was like, how? And Nick was like, listen, I'll buy you the hole-in-one plaque.
Hole-in-one's a hole-in-one.
So I'm
has
reading,
nothing to do with a round of golf.
So I'm reading the article from the PGA, and it says there's a bunch of different scenarios where a hole-in-one doesn't count. One is in a simulator, which that you could argue, that you'd say probably fine, it doesn't count. One is on a par 3 golf course. It says it doesn't count on a par, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. If it's a par 3, I don't care how many holes you played. That should still be on.
Which article were you reading?
I'd have to go back and.
That
look
sounds
at
like
it.
an opinion column. That's not an official.
That sounds like a bunch of crap to me.
Hole-in-one on any hole, from any distance, is a hole-in-one. I have 2.
Say it again, because we're clipping this out for Lou. I'm giving it to him.
A hole-in-one on any hole is a hole-in-one.
There you have it. From PGA of America Pro Sean Kicker.
Now, it's not as impressive as Mark Van Dyke's hole-in-one.
Well, yeah, but Mark, if you want to go back and hear that story, listen to the
Mark Van Dyke story about that. That's a great story.
His first hole-in-one.
Yes.
And the first hole-in-one anybody got
on that hole.
That course. There should be a statue of him on that tee box, I think.
He's a Hall of Famer, so he's got statues there. There's no we don't need any more statues of Mark Van Dyke. Fine, as much as I love the guy.
So anyway, I derailed the whole 100-hole challenge just for that. That's for you, Lou Chiera at Winners Award Group, and so there. Sean says you're wrong.
Yeah. So back to the VIP event, and so it's when you're playing two-person and you're playing alternate shots. So you hit the tee shot, your partner's up there putting on the green. While he's putting, you're going over and hitting the tee shot on the next hole. And so Shelby was doing that so well, and she's just moving around the golf course.
Kirsten and I are smirking and laughing because we
didn't exactly look that way.
We didn't play that crap.
No,
we were like,
no.
Let's both hit. Let's go. Let's hit at the same time because there's no rules.
Yeah, there's no rules.
Right, I'm the chairman. I make the rules.
Have fun.
I go along,
yes.
Right. So, and I told that to Tim Campbell, who was also one of our new guys.
He played both times. Didn't he play the morning and the afternoon?
He
played all day. That guy.
So, but I told that to Tim. He was calling me before the event, and I go, listen, man. If you have, and there's no water on that course either, so you don't have to bring 200 balls or anything.
Right. Yes, there is no water in play. Yes.
If you hit it in the sand and you can't get out of the sand so well, it's okay. Scoop it out with your hand, toss it on the green, and keep going.
Yeah,
right?
hand wedge.
It's all about the kids and the veterans and raising the money and having fun while you're doing it. So, if you're intimidated by this event, don't be. And if you're scared, that's okay. Come do the simulator.
Yes.
Matt Kaplan was in his 5th or 6th year of doing this. And I played with him at the simulator at
Lauderdale Links,
in Fort Lauderdale, and our new buddy Brian Corriston was there
who's
all
awesome
day and opened up early for us. And Matt said, "Why have I not done this on the simulator every year? I don't think I'm ever playing 100 outside again."
Nope. He didn't want to leave.
And
we didn't want to leave.
Yeah, you had to kick him out.
Yeah, we literally had to
Right, because Brian had some real customers coming in at 4:00 or whatever, and he had opened up and donated his place for us.
He didn't charge us anything.
What, 8 hours.
We were there at least
whatever.
8 hours.
I think we got him a Laspada sub at least, or some Dunkin' Donuts.
We had to do something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, the simulator is a great way to ease your way in.
Yeah.
To doing this, if you're intimidated or you're not that great a golfer, because you know what happens if you hit a bad shot in a simulator, you just click mulligan and you go again.
Do it all over again.
Big deal. Plus, we got to play St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, some French-sounding course I can't pronounce in Oregon.
Oh, Coeur d'Alene.
Coeur d'Alene, thank you. Of course, he's probably been to the real one, so of course he knows how to pronounce it.
Now, that's the golf course that you see with all the images where there is an island green, but it's not an island green like TPC Sawgrass. It is a floating, movable green. So they can remote control, change the distance of that particular hole. Incredible.
How silly is that?
And there's no bridge that goes over. You take a shuttle. You take a ferry over to the green and a ferry back.
And I need a kayak or something. Like that's wild. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Whoever designs courses has like a Satan worship.
Well, the coolest hole like that ever is in Africa, and they have the 19th hole at this particular golf course. You take a helicopter to the top of the mountain, and as you look over the edge, the green is a giant green in the shape of the continent of Africa. And you're hitting basically driver from 300 something, but it's so far downhill, and that's what you play. But you take a helicopter ride up to the top of the mountain and then back down, and that's what you play. It's an additional fee to be able to do it. But I mean, yeah, how about that? That's the most unique golf hole of all time.
What's the name of that course?
I don't.
Have you been there?
I have no.
You have not been.
No. Africa's not on my list.
Africa's not on the list.
No.
Okay. All right. So what is a course on your bucket list that you have? I mean, you've played all over, but what is a course that you're in your early 50s, you got plenty of life to live, hopefully, knock on wood. Where do you want to play that you have not played?
Well, I mean, obviously Augusta National would be a dream to be able to play there. I've never played there. I got a good friend of mine from high school that has played there, because I see pictures of him posting. I hate you, Jeffrey Miller, but yeah, Augusta National is the dream, and it's not because you would have to know a member to get out there, and it's just the elite of who's who.
Is it true that if you are selected as a volunteer, part of your perk is to play the course, or is that a myth?
No, that is a real.
That is a
They do
real
get to
thing.
play, and then there's people that have
But
been volunteering there for 30 years,
you
40 years, 50 years.
so you got to know somebody to get into the volunteer.
I don't know the particulars of it, but I do know that that is not a myth. That is true. They do get to play. Same thing with the caddies. I knew people that I played tournament golf with in my early 20s, and they ended up caddying at Augusta National. And there's a caddy day, and they play there.
That's pretty cool.
Now, I will say this: just like any other golf course during tournament week looks extremely different and plays completely different than it does the rest of the 360 days out of the year.
But I mean, could I realize the difference being, like a weekend golfer and a business golfer? I would still notice it, or
yeah,
it would have to be
the
like
conditions that they play under for the Masters is very different than what the members would ordinarily play it, and it's just the firmness of everything, meaning that the golf course plays harder and faster. There's a lot more roll. The grass is cut down tremendously short. I mean, the fairways at Augusta National are similar to the greens that we play on down here. They're cut that tight. So imagine your fairway lies are that tight on as if you're hitting iron shots off of our greens, and the rough is as well. So and so, yeah, and the greens are like putting on this table.
On this table, yeah, or concrete or something, yeah, like
very similar,
freshly pressed concrete.
So that bucket list course, that would definitely be it. But kind of going back to the 100-hole challenge, and with the so we did the simulator event, we did the par 3 event. Yep. And then we did have Bill Freising was going to donate the entire Hollybrook facility, which we all love Hollybrook.
Hollybrook's great.
You got the 18 hole.
We don't talk about Hollybrook that much because not that many people know about it. So thanks for blowing the whistle on us. It's going to be even harder to get a tee time.
It's a hidden gem. It's an old style golf course. The championship course is great. And Walter, the superintendent out there, has got those greens tip top.
They're rolling really
tip top. And then you got the 18-hole par 3 course. So to me, it's the perfect facility for 100-hole challenge because you can play 18 holes par 3, 18-hole championship, 18-hole par 3, 18-hole championship. Or you can play all 18 championship. You can play all 18 par 3. I don't care how you do it.
We only played 18 on the par 3.
We did. And at that time, it wasn't.
Par 3 wasn't.
Remember, Walter had just started over there. He wasn't there, and Bill Freising wasn't the director of golf at that point in time.
And then we were like, no, we're going back to the championship course, and we had a blast.
Now
we played 100 or 101. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. So next year we will have that available, and I think that is we just need to recruit more players that want to do that as well. So if we do everything that we did this year, we have the same amount of players that we did for the indoor challenge, which was about 8 guys. Okay. And we do, 28-ish players on the Coral Ridge par 3 course. Mm-hmm. And then if we recruit another 16 to 18 players at Hollybrook, we might be able to exceed $150,000
well,
next year.
I think having the couple of golf course pros that we had, like Shelby was there again. She's a staple.
She represents Weston Hills, the club at Weston Hills.
We had the guys from Adios,
Jared and Chris Katana. Thank you guys so much. You second place all time as far as money raised for country clubs. The only person that's ever raised more money from a country club was
up at Broken Sound or something?
No, from the Floridian, Morgan Jewell, who's an amazing player himself, but he raised an enormous amount of money one year that I don't know if it's ever going to be broken. Last year for the Treasure Coast, $40-something thousand. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
and then the other and
Parkland, right. Yes.
And maybe next year we get a few more.
Miles and Marty, right? Thank you guys.
You get a few more golf clubs. Because they were worth 8, 10, 12 grand or whatever they raised.
Mm-hmm.
And then these high school kids, and I'll come back to that, I had just met a few of them on Zoom before we met at Coral Ridge, and they were all motivated. They were out there. They were having fun. We have to get them to tell their friends.
That's the key.
And the people they compete against at the other private schools, like you were kind of alluding to at the beginning of this. And then all of a sudden, it turns from 6 guys in high school or girls in high school
to where we fill the golf course with
12 or 15 or 20, and they want to play Hollybrook, maybe, right?
Yeah.
The championship.
They would want to be out there doing that all day long. I
would go back, and I'm sure I speak for Kirsten also. I would go back to Hollybrook and do 100 again in a heartbeat.
For sure.
It was so much fun. Even though it was brutally hot. And there was one blemish in the 100-hole challenge this year, is that it was my first year playing without Nick, my son.
That's right.
He went camping with his buddies instead of, being dad's caddy in the 100-hole challenge. So that was one thing that I would change if I could change it, but that has nothing to do with you guys. It's not your fault.
We had your brother from another 14. Mother Kirkton riding shotgun with you this time. So
he's 14. So I thought you were going to bring Aiden, actually.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and what about next year? What else are we going to do to kind of elevate it even more? Because I know you and I are both kind of the mentality, like, how can we make it better?
One up.
How can we one up ourselves?
How can we one up ourselves?
Just like in golf, right? You want to get a better score than the last time you were out on that course.
Yeah. So like I said, most of the kids, all of the kids actually were part of the Pinecrest Prep high school golf team. Mm-hmm. Oliver Mayer, $10,000 plus raised. Jaden Friedman, $6,000. Parker Obst, $4,000. Okay, so if we get next year North Broward Prep, Cardinal Gibbons, Archbishop McCarthy, Chaminade, and we get those, and we get 4 kids from each school raising money, and we'll do a championship belt, right. Something like this, right. For those the team that wins the most, and then I'm going to take those 4 players to someplace swanky like Ocean Reef or Everglades Club, or, Lord knows we may be able to pull a string on something like this at Bears Club or Seminole, just because it's a special story, right? And so what a cool little carrot that is to dangle amongst 16 high school kids. Go play Seminole, go play Ocean Reef, and probably a lot of these kids have maybe even played there themselves, but I think all of them are mature enough to understand that no matter how many times, if you've played there before, it's still special, right? So that's one thing.
I can't speak from experience on that one, but keep going.
That's one avenue that we're going to do, and then we need to recruit more country clubs. We had 3. Now Broward is completely different than Palm Beach County, right? Palm Beach County, they have 20 clubs that are part of this, and with 2-person teams that represent.
And we still crush.
We have 9 private country clubs in all of Broward County. Mm-hmm. And so the key is
to get 9 of them.
Can we get all 9 of them for next year? And so we're looking for Fort Lauderdale Country Club to get involved. We're looking for Grand Oaks to get involved. We're looking for Lago Mar to get involved. There's 3 more. And then, of course, we already have a commitment, and we're excited about our partnership with Shell Bay. David Armitage and Ari Pearl are really huge supporters of what we're doing in First Tee, and we're going to do a lot of special things with them moving forward. So if we get those, 150 is not an unachievable goal.
It seems like it's almost automatic if we get all of those. And
nothing's automatic, my friends.
No, I know.
Right? Everything is work. You just got to make sure it happens. But yeah,
pressure and time.
Time and pressure.
Pressure and time and pressure. So. Well, listen, congratulations again, Sean. We blew it out this year.
Thanks, man.
Looking forward to 2024 already. Why don't you talk a little bit about, just real quick, the fall golf tournament as well, because that's coming up in October.
Yeah, that is coming up.
Tell us about the next big First Tee event. Well, first, we've got September 12th. We've got the Connect event.
Connect event at PGA Tour Superstore.
Which is always fun. We got games. We got good food.
Yeah.
It's great networking. It's just a really cool place to go, and a great event and a venue for, doing that type of event.
Yeah, I mean, the last one we had was at Tower Club, and Tower Club is great. We had a different crowd for that, but there's no real golf involved in it. And you got the beautiful views of all of Broward County from the top of the Tower Club up there in downtown. But PGA Tour Superstore, we're back to the simulators. So we got the longest drive contest that Marcus Schnellenberger always wins. If Marcus doesn't win, it's Lucas Cohen, but Lucas isn't going to be back yet for that. So this will be Marcus's thing. Chris Burr and Brian Corsten, we got to get there just to get a little more competition going. And then there's the closest to the pin, which yours truly has won 50% of the time. And then the putting contest.
Win if it's a PGA Pro though against a bunch of amateurs.
And then no, I don't, because I don't collect the prize.
I know you don't get the $50.
My name may be at the top, but I give it to somebody else. And then the putting contest, which I never win, but you always have a good chance at the putting contest.
I can at least have a shot at that. And I did when we did the holiday party at 6 Degrees a couple years ago. I actually did win closest to the pin against all those guys.
Nice.
Chris Burr and all those guys. So,
that's impressive.
I still have that one good swing in the simulator, and it almost went in. I think it was like 2 feet or something.
Nice.
So, but that hole-in-one would not have counted, just for the record.
It does not count.
On a hole-in-one on any golf course counts, Lou Chiera, and not in the simulator. Got it. All right.
Correct.
Cool. So, well, listen, that's it for the 100-hole wrap-up, man. I think it was a wildly successful year. And
we didn't finish talking about the fall golf tournament yet.
Fall golf tournament.
Right. We got into the Connect event. And you can register right now. Go to our website, sign up. It's a free event. It's what we call a friend raiser. Everyone is welcome. Learn a little bit about the mission about First Tee. You'll hear a guest speaker of one of our youth participants and one of our veterans participants. And bring a friend. It's going to be a fun event. After that, October 5th, we're having a wine tasting event, okay, and that is going to be at the club at Weston Hills. It's $75 per ticket to buy into that, and then we are selling sponsorships. $2,500 will get you 2 tickets to the wine tasting and 2 player spots in our Fall Golf Invitational, which I'll tell you about in a moment.
Do you have Scotch tasting instead if you don't want wine?
Well, let's see. This year we're doing a wine tasting.
Right,
okay.
Next year, Scotch tasting.
Farniente and Glazers, Southern Glazers is sponsoring this event for us, and the club at Weston Hills is hosting this event for us. So they are the title sponsor and host sponsor, and in the future we may do a Scotch tasting, whiskey tasting. We may do tequila. So there's all kinds of things that this may turn into on an annual basis, much like what Lou Chiera does for his family foundation for running for Nick's Camp. Is he does a gala the night before, and then the following day is golf.
You were at the gala this year, and
I was,
and Kirsten and I were at the golf tournament.
Correct. We tag teamed that one, but it was a learning experience for me, and that's really what we're trying to build upon. So the wine tasting this year is going to be in conjunction with, if you sponsor the wine tasting, you're going to get some players in the Fall Invitational, which is the very next Monday. So October 5th is a Thursday, and Monday is the 9th of October, okay? And that's going to be at Deer Creek. It's going to be a 1 o'clock shotgun. And we're seeking sponsors for that from companies, corporations, or individuals. It's all a tax-deductible donation. The thing about this is it's not a scramble. So we're looking for little better players. You're going to play your own ball, and it'll be 2 better balls of the 4, gross and net. So if you're a real golfer and you're looking to play a lot of golf, you're not necessarily looking to be part of a scramble. That's what the Fall Invitational has always been about. This year it's at Deer Creek, which I love the golf course. I'm a huge fan of Deer Creek. It's right down the street. This year, because we've done it the last several years at the Royal Palm Yacht and Country Club, where they had the TimberTech Championship last year, the senior event, the playoff event, but it's closed because they're renovating again. And so they're redoing that whole golf course. So we'll either be back there next year, or I'm really hoping that we'll be at Shell Bay.
Even better.
But we're at Deer Creek this year, and that's coming up October 9th. Go to the website, register there.
I'm really excited to play Deer Creek again, and I'll tell you why.
I always play well at Deer Creek.
When I first started playing golf, our buddy Adam Corin was a member there, and he invited me play. He's like, oh, come play. And I had played in like 2 charity tournaments and maybe 1 real golf course. This is about 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and I said, listen, Adam, I'm not at all good. I've taken a few lessons. I barely practiced. Like, I'm brand new to golf. You may not want me. And he goes, no, it's okay. Like, come with me. I want to get out there with you. If kind of like we do for new golfers now, if you hit a bad shot or two, just drop with me and keep playing, right? And we're going to have fun. Don't worry about it. So I went and I brought, I think, around 15 balls.
Not enough.
Deer Creek is wet.
Wet.
And if you're not a good golfer, I'm glad you're targeting a better golfer, because it'll get real expensive in lost golf balls real fast. So I want revenge on that course.
Good. You're way better now than you ever were.
Yeah.
We got you hitting the ball well. You got to get you back out on Saturdays, and we'll continue to work on that swing.
And now that my daughter Tessa, thank you, by the way. So
the Jedi mind trick her into coming into golf.
So
man.
Sean is really good.
The child whisperer.
He's the child whisperer in a good way, and you got to be careful how you say that nowadays. But Sean is really good at working with kids. I got to give it to you. I mean, they love you. And we were on the phone at 8:00 at night. I was trying to get her to kind of start reading, and he goes, and she was brushing her teeth or something, and I was talking to you about recapping the 100-hole challenge and
about this show,
and he just out of nowhere goes, I miss you, Tessa. You should come back to First Tee and get out there on Saturday. And I said, hold on, and I put it on speaker, and you repeated it, and she was like, okay. So she, Nick and Lou Chiera gave her a bright orange Knicks camp shirt, like the blue one that I'm wearing now, and she was like, I want to wear my Knicks camp shirt. And I know you guys do train the kids
yes,
with cancer and everything, so you have that partnership. And she was so excited to go again, but not because I told her she should go, because you said, oh, I miss you, you should come back out and hit some balls with us.
And all the girls miss her, right? We got that sisterhood out there.
That's right.
Where at Davy, the program we have is more girls than boys.
And it was 80%, I think. It was
60-ish%, which is
predominantly.
It's not 80%.
Predominantly females, though, and
yes.
And, no, it's great. So
we make them feel welcomed. Number one, okay, and we build that relationship, that camaraderie. And so when young ladies are in an environment where they feel welcomed, they feel safe, and then you start making them feel special, they're hooked, right? And then the game itself, they'll fall in love with the game itself. But you got to make it welcoming, and this is where our industry, historically speaking, towards women has not been friendly.
Yeah. And I love it, because I think that for young boys and girls, but especially young girls, if you can get out on the golf course, it opens so many additional doors in business and networking and charitable giving and all the other stuff that we love to do and what we want our kids to grow up to do as well.
Yeah. In the corporate world, you're a female in the office and you play golf, okay? And furthermore, if you play good golf,
it raises your stock.
You are,
so much.
Yes, big time. Yeah. Big time. So
plus, if you can hit it off the tee, they let you hit from the forward tees in charity tournaments, and some holes you might have 100-yard advantage.
Yes.
Over your your opponent. Now, of course, we know from when I played with you and 2 other pros and the celebrity broadcasters that no matter how good you hit it in a charity event, and no matter how good you score, someone might have a sharper.
Someone's got a better pencil,
a better eraser.
Their pencil's way better than ours.
But yeah, that does it for the 100-hole challenge. Looking forward to seeing you guys on September 12th at the PGA Superstore, and then wine tasting.
October 5th at the club at Weston Hills,
and then October 9th at Deer Creek for the First Tee Fall Invitational. So thanks a lot, Sean. Looking forward to another great year.
Thanks, Drew.